If you're anything like me, you see all of these pieces of hero equipment and you want to make sure that you get the best results by upgrading the right equipment first. Why can't it all just be max? Well, unfortunately, it can't. So we are going to do a deep and dirty dive into each of the pieces of hero equipment to let you know exactly which pieces you should be upgrading first. If you want to look at a specific hero, then feel free to jump ahead to that specific chapter so that you can see it for yourself. Starting with the King at Town Hall 8, you automatically gain the traditional abilities of the Rage Vial and the Barbarian Puppet. And once you build your Blacksmith, you also gain access to the Earthquake Boots. Although the Barbarians released from the Barbarian Puppet are extremely powerful, I have found that they ultimately just end up getting in the way, and there are much more powerful pieces of equipment that you can throw your ore into. The Earthquake Boots are super cool, but also their use is really limited, so I wouldn't bother wasting any ore on those either. Now, the Rage Vial is the absolute best piece of King equipment overall, so throw all your ore into that, at least until you reach Town Hall 10, when we are introduced to the Vamp Stash. Now, the Vamp Stash offers some amazing healing ability, and in my opinion, it's the second best piece of equipment you can use for Town Halls 10 through 14, just due to the nature of the types of attacks used at those Town Hall levels. Typically, players will use dragons, witches, or hybrid, and the King is used more for funneling purposes. Now, there's nothing more powerful than seeing your King at full health towards the end of the raid because he's able to stay alive so much longer. Now, starting at Town Hall 14, we start to see more smash attacks being used, as well as more Sui hero entries, which brings us to the Giant Gauntlet. Now, if you didn't get the Giant Gauntlet during the Cookie Rumble event in December of 2023, then don't worry. The Rage Vial and the Vamp Stash combo are extremely powerful and should continue to be your focus on upgrading. But the Giant Gauntlet splash damage and tanking capabilities really makes it shine at Town Hall 14 and above. So if you have that choice, you should 100% be placing all your ore into the Giant Gauntlet and the Rage Vial. At Town Hall 9, we are introduced to the Queen and automatically get the Invisibility Vial and the Archer Puppet. Also at Town Hall 9, we gain access to the Giant Arrow once the Blacksmith is upgraded. While the Invisibility Vial is actually the most powerful of all of the Queen's equipment, I'm not super crazy about the Archer Puppet. While it's true that the Queen will receive a health boost from using it, and the archers can act as a tank for a short period of time, I find so often that the archers just die super quickly. As far as the Giant Arrow goes, it has the potential to be amazingly OP on some bases, but it really struggles with synergy with the other pieces of Queen equipment, and overall, it just isn't used much at all, as strategies utilizing it are extremely limited. Now, at Town Hall 12, once the Blacksmith is upgraded, we gain access to the Healer Puppet, and this is the second piece of equipment that I will be throwing all of my ore into for the Queen. There's something amazing about being able to do a naked Queen walk.
What?
And being able to keep the Queen alive after she takes down her initial targets. Now, it's been rumored for quite some time that the Queen will soon be gaining access to the Frozen Arrow, which also has the potential to be amazing. But for now, my two choices of equipment for the Queen are the Invisibility Vial and the Healer Puppet. We'll see if that changes once the Frozen Arrow is introduced. At Town Hall 11, we are introduced to the Grand Warden, and with it comes the automatic pieces of equipment in the Eternal Tome and the Life Gem. Now, the Eternal Tome is definitely the most powerful piece of Warden equipment, as it allows troops within his aura to gain invincibility for a max of 9.5 seconds once the ability is pressed. Which piece of equipment to upgrade after the Eternal Tome is a little more difficult to determine, as each of the other pieces of equipment offer very unique benefits, which greatly help with different types of attacks. It's generally agreed upon that the life gem is definitely needed for Lalo attacks, as the health increase gives a much needed boost to the lower health loons. The Rage Gem, on the other hand, which is gained by upgrading the Blacksmith at Town Hall 11, works great with larger, slower troops that are already higher in health, such as dragons or super witches, and can bring their attack speed up by a considerable amount. Now, the Healing Tome is gained at Town Hall 13 and is great with many attacks as well, such as hybrid root riders or hogs, as those troops are able to be healed back up to full health during the tome's ability. So, my suggestion is this: if you plan on using Lalo, then in addition to the Eternal Tome, I would secondarily focus on the Life Gem as the second piece of equipment that you're going to upgrade. If you think you'll be focusing more on attacks such as dragons or the like, then secondarily focus on the Rage Gem. But really, with the Grand Warden, there is no wrong answer, but definitely go with one in addition to the Eternal Tome and focus 100% of your ore on that. At Town Hall 13, we're introduced to the Royal Champion. She currently only has 2 abilities at the moment in the Royal Gem and the Seeking Shield, so I guess it's pretty obvious which ones we should upgrade. Now, the question is, should a player focus all of their ore on one hero and then catch up on the other heroes later on down the road? And the answer is no. I do not think that you should have an unbalanced attacking method, and I would upgrade these pieces of equipment with all the heroes equally. So in review, for the King, I will be upgrading the Rage Vial and the Giant Gauntlet or the Vamp Stash on any account where I did not get the Giant Gauntlet. For the Archer Queen, I will be using the Invisibility Vial and also the Healer Puppet. For the Grand Warden, I will of course be upgrading first the Eternal Tome and second the Life Gem. Third, I will be focusing on the Rage Gem whenever my Life Gem is maxed. And of course, for the Grand Warden, not the Grand Warden, of course, for the Royal Champion, we do not have any extra equipment other than the 2 that is already on her. But hopefully, we will see some new equipment soon. Until then, I'm TipDog20. I'll see you next video.